What is up, YouTube? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups. In this video we are going to be talking about sketchy Craigslist deals. So if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. With that being said, let's hop into it. Okay, so with being a game collector, I am always on the lookout for new games, either for myself or to flip for a decent price and obviously sell to fund my collection. And that comes at some weird, sketchy prices because oftentimes I'll see games or consoles or something like that up on Facebook or Craigslist or anything else like that, whether it's like Go or OfferUp or anything like that, where I have to go and meet these people in person. That's always going to be a risk, and I know this is true, but sometimes you're like, okay, this is a good deal. Obviously these people don't know what they're doing, so you've got to kind of coerce them into meeting you at a safe place. Sometimes that's hard, and sometimes people just can't afford it. And honestly, I have been to some sketchy deals and I try not to do them as much anymore, but at one point in time it was really hard to get people to go and to meet me at a local game store or a local gas station or whatever it is. If it was a grocery store, it doesn't matter. Sometimes people are just like, well, I can't meet you, I can't drive that far. So inevitably that means you have to go somewhere that you're not comfortable with, which can be crappy at points, and other times it can turn out to be really awesome. Now, I have had a few times where I've had to drive like 30-40 minutes to meet someone on the south side. I live on the north side of town of where I live, and oftentimes it's like, okay, I'm driving this far, I hope everything is the way they explained it and everything, and oftentimes it's good condition or whatever, but sometimes you hit sketchy places, and honestly I've hit a few of those. Now, there was this one time I went to go pick up this console, and I believe it was like a GameCube that was boxed. It had a bunch of GameCube games, and it had a few like knockoff consoles with like some NES, SNES, and Nintendo 64 games, and some Sega games, I think. But it was in a really bad part of town, and I drove up, I pulled up, and I don't have the nicest car, but I have a somewhat decent looking car, and so I pulled up, and like instantly everybody turned and looked at me, and I'm like, oh crap, what did I get myself into? And I like I turn off the car and I look at my phone to make sure I'm at the right place and look at the apartment number because it's an apartment, and not only is it not on the first floor, it's on the second floor, but it's like in the corner, so it's like the worst possible place. So I get there and everyone's looking at me, and I like start to walk up the stairs, and just like people are just outside their apartment staring at me, and I'm like, oh, please don't let anything bad happen. And so I get to the door and they open it up, and there's like a guy who's like kind of half dressed, like I'm pretty sure he just put shorts on, and answered the door, and I'm like, come on, what's this about? So he like doesn't let me in, but I'm like standing here awkwardly, and of course I can't carry everything because it's a bunch of consoles and games, and so I'm like, well, this is gonna be awkward. So I like pick up half of the stuff, I've gotta walk back downstairs, all these people are staring at me, I gotta go back up to this guy, grab the rest of the stuff, walk downstairs, and then leave. And literally, as I'm leaving, you could see like everyone like turning their head to watch me leave, and I'm just like, why? What's the problem here? And so that was one of the instances where I was like, oh crap, this is sketchy. And I try to avoid these situations, but it inevitably happens where someone's like, I just need the money to get my car fixed. And I've had some weird other run-ins with like Craigslist deals where like I'll message someone and it'll be like an adult and they'll tell me where to meet and everything. And then when I get there, it's like a 12 to 15-year-old kid selling me this stuff. And he's just walked like half a mile to get there. And I'm like, what is happening? Obviously, as long as the stuff is in good condition and the deal we have made is good, I'll obviously go through with it. But I've had a few deals gone somewhat bad. I'll talk about those later in another video. If you guys like these, let me know, because I like weird, wacky videos. And honestly, Craigslist could be some of the sketchiest places, and honestly, I'm okay with it if the deal is right. Like, I've met people at a gas station that literally is like in the worst part of town, but it's a decent gas station. Like, I know that, okay, they probably have cameras. If something happens to me, I usually tell someone that I'm leaving. But I've driven up and people literally, like, I don't know how they got their cars to the places I'm meeting them, but they'll come out and give me the games or whatever. I'll give them the cash and they seem appreciative and everything, and then they're on their way. Well, one time, and I don't know if this is the sketchiest or just the weirdest trade that I ever did on Craigslist. One time, one of my friends was looking for a 3DS, and it was right after the new 3DSs came out, so you still had the old 3DS XLs and then just the 3DSs, and he was wanting a 3DS of some sort. And so he had recently had a kid about 6 months before that, and so he had a stockpile of diapers that people had given him or whatever. He had a bunch of diapers. Well, this lady was like, hey, here's the deal. I need money to pay for diapers for my kid. And so I talked to my boss and say, hey, I know you have a kid and maybe this will save you some money, but this lady needs diapers for her kid. Is there any way you have these diapers and we can make the trade? And he's like, let me call my wife. So he calls her, and they obviously have some because the kid was around the same age as theirs. And so they end up trading. Well, I go with him and we meet this lady, and she has told us, I need $5 for the bus ride and then diapers for my kid. That's all I want for this 3DS. And we're like, okay, cool. We'll do this. And we don't know if the thing turns on. It didn't come with a charger or anything, but I had those, so it wasn't a big deal. But that was one of the weirdest dealings we had. It took us a few minutes to figure out, okay, what is she wanting, what size, what kind, and then does he have them? And honestly, that's one of the weirdest, maybe one of the best deals that I've gotten, because we traded a pack of diapers and $5 for a 3DS, which at that time was probably worth like 50 or 60, maybe $80. It's been a while since that happened, but honestly, that was one of those things that was so weird to me. But on the other side, there is definitely some sketchy pickups that I've had, and honestly, the one at the apartment where I literally was watched from the second I pulled into the apartment complex to the second I left with all those people. I want to say there was at least like 5 to 10 people outside that had no affiliation to the guy that I was actually buying from. So they didn't know what was going on. They just saw this weird outside stranger guy. And obviously I don't dress nice or anything. I dress normal-ish in my viewpoint. So that was something that I thought was really, really weird. So if you guys like these kind of out-of-the-box videos, make sure you comment down below and let me know. Craigslist is a great way to find video games, or it was. It's kind of lacking in my area now, but that's probably because of Facebook Marketplace and things like that. But with that being said, comment down below and let me know if you are interested in more videos like this. With that being said, I just want to say thank you to the sponsor, which is retrovideogamepickups.bigcartel.com. Go check out a shirt if you are interested in it at all. With that being said, don't forget about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Big Cartel, Patreon. All that stuff is down below in the description. while you're at it, since you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when I post more videos. But most importantly, make sure you have a good day.